Welcome to Devils in the Details. I am your host, Annie DeGraw. Today we have an exciting topic, Adulting 101. What is Adulting 101? Well, to talk with us about that, we have two of our adulting ambassadors, Tylee DeBene and Yvonne Alcazar. We also have Kevin Kowaleski, Provost and Enrollment Strategic Communications with ASU. Very excited to talk to you about this. This is an amazing program where it's really a peer-to-peer communication where first and second year college students can get answers on everything from dorm life to eating to how to make friends from their actual peers. So Kevin, first question is going to be for you. What is Adulting 101, and really what was the basis around why this was created?
Sure. Hey, Annie. So Adulting 101 is an ASU website with over 200 articles on topics ranging from mental, emotional wellness, personal finance, relationships, study habits. It's promoted through an Instagram account and a monthly e-newsletter. Over about 30,000 students at ASU are engaging with our content on adulting over the course of a year. You know, we know from research, and we also just know from common sense, that a student's performance in class is dependent on a host of factors that go well beyond just study habits. So, you know, if you're having a problem with someone you care about, you know, that's going to impact your performance. If you are worried about paying rent, you could be distracted while you're studying. So, you know, at the heart of our adulting communication strategy is really empathy for our students and an understanding that, you know, a student's more likely to retain at ASU and ultimately graduate if they develop a growth mindset and if they find the resources that help them navigate a whole host of topics related to being an adult and becoming an adult.
Tylee, I was going to say on that one, you are actually one of our adulting ambassadors. I think I spent 90% of my freshman year completely lost on campus, going to one cafeteria because I didn't realize there was more than one. Do you draw on your own experiences to really help your peers in this? And what have been some of those standout moments for you?
Oh my gosh, 100%. One of the things that I love about adulting is that it is 100% from our own experiences. And it is through our experiences that we're able to communicate with students and have kind of that real connection with them. Because me as a student, I know my first year, kind of similar to you, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what to expect. And I really wish I, utilized adulting or utilized any of the resources on campus that were kind of peer related. So it is through adulting that I'm really excited to be able to make those connections, draw from my own experiences, and really give those real time, real life experiences and advice to students that are able to connect with us.
That's amazing. It would have helped me out so much. Yvonne, my next question is for you. One of the things that you're passionate about is helping students who might be struggling with imposter syndrome, something I know so many of us struggle with. Can you talk to me a little bit about why that's something you're passionate about and what really the goal you're trying to achieve when you talk with students about overcoming that issue?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, this issue is definitely a little bit personal, coming from a first generation background, coming from a low income background, and being a Latino student here, at ASU, and having my own personal experiences with that. But I think the biggest issue is that there are really well documented achievement gaps between students that come from these different identities and people that struggle, particularly with imposter syndrome. So for me, I want to let students know, and it's nice because I'm also a student, right? So this is not coming from some just kind of observer status, someone who works at the university, but someone who lives and every day struggles with these challenges, that you're here for a reason, right? If you're awarded a scholarship, it's because you deserve it, right? And if you're here at ASU admitted and pursuing a really intensive academic program, it's because they think you can handle it, and so you're meant to be here. And so I think I always try to reiterate that, because there are definitely moments in my own personal experience where I struggle with that a little bit. So to kind of be someone else that's also dealing with the same things, hey, listen, I've been there before, and you can't come out of the other end, and you deserve to be here for a reason, and you're going to go on to do really amazing things after ASU, and even here at ASU.
I can't imagine how empowering that must be, particularly for students, like you said, who are also first generation, who don't have someone sort of helping them out to have that conversation with you. Kevin, you touched on this earlier, but I wanted to get back to this. One of the main things, it's not just about quality of your life, but it's really about giving first and second year students the tools that will make them not only capable students, but will also help with their success in graduating. Is that one of the reasons that you really think this program is so important, is that it's not just about personal success, it's about educational success?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we started adulting, our charge was how can we help improve retention rates in students? And, we saw that students have access to just a ton of resources at ASU, but navigating those resources was the challenge, right? So we wanted to put everything in one place. With the thought with that was that if we prescribe what we think a student needs to know about us, we might be missing the point. And if by just putting all of the resources in one place, a student can begin to browse and find the things that interest them. We write the content in a way that hopefully engages them. And then we're finding that students will come in we'll send an email, they'll come in on one topic, and then they'll stay on the site for 10 to 15 minutes, browsing other topics and finding the resources that they need.
And I think that is so important, particularly because I can tell you, I'm sure things have changed a lot from when I was in college, but they change so rapidly year to year. So making sure that you can be flexible and having students answer those questions is so important. Tylee, next question is for you, and Yvonne, get ready because this question is also coming to you. Biggest piece of advice that you would give students coming in for their first and second year can be from your own sort of understanding and lessons learned, or maybe some of the things you've picked up in your time in the Adulting 101 program.
To understand that your experience is going to be completely different from the person sitting right next to you's experience. And this is something that I really struggled with my first and second year attending ASU. I'm a pre-law student. And so I had in my head, I need to get all of these internships. I need to work for all of these law firms. And I wasn't doing that. And I was really anxious. I was really struggling, kind of touch on the imposter syndrome. I was feeling a lot of imposter syndrome. And I finally sat down and realized that my path is completely unique to me. And that's something that I love to tell students. And that's something that I love to incorporate into all of my work with Adulting 101, is that just because I'm giving a student advice, just because I'm sharing my story, doesn't mean that that's 100% accurate to what your story is going to be, to what your experience is going to be, to what your path is. Our paths aren't linear. It isn't exact. It's not going to be the same for every single person. And I think the way that we define success is exactly that, the way that we define it, not the way that somebody writing on a blog post defines it. And I think that's just really important. And that's something that I love to tell people any chance I get, or something that I really wish I would have heard my first year or second year as a student.
I can tell you, as someone in their 30s, that's something I want to hear now, because it's still so hard. You do compare yourself so much, and there's already so many insecurities, particularly coming into college, that this just doubles. You look on Instagram and see, what am I doing wrong? Yvonne, same question to you. What are some of the advice you would pass on that you really think has changed your outlook?
Yeah, 100%. So I think for me, the biggest thing that I've kind of learned as I've gone through ASU and, reflect on my past experience and kind of my last semester is definitely to normalize and really practice help-seeking behavior, even in every single aspect of your life. A lot of times, people come into ASU in different ways. Sometimes they're of the mindset like, oh, I killed it in high school. Like, I know everything I have to do. I have no problems. I don't need any help. Like, this is easy. I have it. Or on the other side of the end, they're like, oh, I don't know. There's so much going on. Who do I talk to? What can I do? And so people will have a mindset that, going and getting help for different things, whether it's seeing a therapist, whether it's seeing a nutritionist, whether it's going to the doctor, whether it's asking your friends, for help, or even asking tutoring, right? Is that, oh, there's this presumption that people that use these kinds of services, have something wrong with them, or they're deficient in some sort of way. And the reality is that the most successful people in the world, use these things. They have their own coaches. They go and see their own therapists. They do these things. So it's that even if you feel like you're doing awesome, that's great. If you feel like there's something you're unsure about, go and talk to someone about it. At ASU, there's so many different things, whether that is counseling, whether that is nutritionists, and most of these services you can actually use for free, at least the first couple of times, if not for free indefinitely. So that's definitely what I would encourage people to do. And something I've learned the hard way is that if you have trouble with something, go and get help. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It means that you have the awareness and the courage to go and get help and go and get some questions answered from someone that might be able to help you, or someone that has those answers.
Tylee and Yvonne, I have to say, you two are so much more self-aware than I was at your age. Those are amazing answers, and honestly, something that I still think people can use and really build on for the rest of their life. So I really appreciate you giving that feedback. Kevin, last question is for you. Where is the best place for all students that might have questions that they want to submit or are interested in accessing some of these resources to go and find them?
Yeah, sure. So anybody can go to adulting.asu.edu. That's where we have all of the content that we've talked about today. On the right side of that website, there is a subscriber button. You can put in your information and get in on our newsletter. At the bottom of it, there is a tell us what you want us to cover form. You just fill that out, let us know topics that you'd like to learn more about. And our student adulting ambassadors will begin writing on those topics. So that's the best way to do it. And, I just totally agree with you, Annie, like listening to Yvonne and Tylee, one of the things that I like to say is, no one has all the answers. And it's so important for young people to hear that from adults. And the sooner that young people learn that, the better off they are. And it's so clear to me that you guys are on the right track of having that mindset that's going to set you up for success. So we're so grateful that they're participating and helping out our students who are less far along on their own paths with their own stories. So we're really grateful for you two and the other ambassadors helping us.
I can tell you as a 33-year-old, I would love to have an Adulting 101 coach now. So if you guys, either of you, Tylee or Yvonne, are available, I would love some lessons. I want to thank you all for joining us today. This was so interesting, and I hope that some people find some really useful information that comes out of this. Until next time on Devils in the Details, stay healthy and be safe.